In this episode, Chris had a chance at having a girlfriend, but just like many things that happened to Chris, it didn't end well. But let's talk about that and more in this review and recap. The episode started out with Julius ignoring his brother. He's in town and he's trying to get in contact with him. And from the flashbacks, it seems like they're always trying to outdo each other. While Rochelle was on the phone with him, Julius pulled the phone from the wall. That's $1 to $2 worth of cords messed up. Doc had stopped by, but Julius thought it was Lewis at first. He hurried up and went down that fire escape, but once he heard Doc mention Jackie Robinson, he came right back. You see, Doc wants Drew to speak at the store because he's honoring Jackie Robinson. That was because supposedly Drew was picked up by Jackie Robinson as a baby, and this was an opportunity for Julius to one-up his brother. Now, over at the Red Lobster, Chris is kissing his girlfriend, and the customers, they didn't come there to see all that. They're there for the cheddar biscuits that everybody talks about and the seafood. They gotta take that somewhere else. After that got done, Chris is talking to her and he's noticing that they don't have any similar interests, and for some reason, Greg is there. Chris was telling him everything that was going on, and Greg told him to lie about them having stuff in common. And of course, Greg made it about himself. He learned nothing from the last episode. I guess if Chris wins, he wins. Meanwhile, Julius is putting pressure on Drew to make the best speech possible, so Drew had to go to the library to research that day because he doesn't remember anything. Which would make sense, he was a baby at the time, he wouldn't remember it. But Julius, he had to pay that money for a cab or else he wouldn't make it to the library in time. Then after Drew left, he gonna say that was $10 worth of dollars. If he wanna outshine his brother in that moment, he gotta pay that money. Drew did find a newspaper and he was trying to talk to Rochelle about it, but she was avoiding it. He noticed that he wasn't the one that got picked up that day, and he was so serious on getting those answers, he made everything black and white. At first, Rochelle thought Julius didn't pay the bill for some color in the episode. I was like, come on now, Julius not gonna be that cheap. Drew told Rochelle everyone he talked to just so happened to tell the story the same way and they weren't even there. And the reason that they all told the same story was because they heard it from Rochelle, and she admitted that it wasn't him who got picked up, it was someone else. At that point, Drew was wondering what else did she lie about? Is his name really Drew? And she said, well, it's actually Andrew. What's funny is I may have missed it, but I don't think I remember them ever calling him Andrew before. But after all of this, he found out his full name, and now I wonder, what has he been writing down on his papers at school or anywhere else where he had to write down his whole name? Later on, Julius' brother had showed up. He stayed for a little while and was about to leave, but Julius suggested that they go to the corner store to get some snacks. When he mentioned that it would be on sale, his brother immediately said he doesn't like sales because it's crowded. He likes paying more than retail price. I was like, are they sure they're siblings? Because Julius, he gonna be paying below retail if he can. I get it, siblings are different, but it was hilarious to hear him say that he's paying over retail. I think if people can get a good sale, they gonna go for a good sale. Julius wouldn't let it go, so he managed to get his brother to go to the store. In the other room, Rochelle was telling Drew that the lie wasn't for him but for his father. Back in the day when Julius was still working them two jobs, he wanted to go see Jackie Robinson and he missed it. That's when Rochelle came up with that lie and she wanted to give Julius a win. And in that same flashback, she still had the nerve to have him change a diaper. He just got home from working two jobs and he missed meeting his hero, so can he get a break first? Rochelle told Drew that she would never lie to hurt him, but she will to protect him. And it's what you do for someone you love. At first, Drew wasn't going to go for that. He was going to say what really happened, but when he saw his dad's face, he told the story that his mom told. In that moment, Julius won, and Lewis tried to steal the moment and he failed. In a way, you could say Julius and his brother act immature, especially in that moment when Lewis tried to steal the moment from Drew. That's his own nephew, just because he was trying to get one up on Julius. Bruh, not every moment has to be his. Now back to Chris. They done left Red Lobster, they done had as much cheddar biscuits as they could eat, and she decides that she wants him to meet her parents. I think things are moving a little too fast. He doesn't even know her name. Later on, she showed up at his place. He was going to break up with her until she said she was tired of getting her heart broken by jerks who just want to use her. And she's just glad Chris is different, which means now is not the right time for him to break up with her. He should have said something earlier. I don't know why he listened to Greg. That was the wrong person to listen to. When Chris was around Tanya, she was talking about all the stuff that he can do, one of them being the running man. I said somebody saw the last episode. While she was talking, he got an idea. He asked her to talk to his girlfriend and tell her all the stuff that he can do so that she can break up with him. She let him know that she would help him out, but he gotta pay $10, even though she said afterwards she would have done it for free. He wasted $10 worth of dollars. Everybody in this episode asking for $10. I guess they said they got their price point. Eventually, when Chris met his girlfriend's family, the plan that he had with Tanya, it backfired. When Tanya was about to say what she had to say, she heard a song that she thought was El DeBarge's. That's when his girlfriend's mom said that her cousin's husband sold El DeBarge an aquarium and they go backstage to his concerts all the time. And she told Tanya that they would invite her, and after that, she told them nothing but good things about Chris. All of that because she wanted to get a chance to meet El DeBarge. She had one job. At that point, Chris had no choice but to tell his girlfriend that he lied. They both apologized, and she let him know no guys cared about her, to be honest, and that they don't have to agree on everything. It seems like everything is good so far, right? Nah, this is Chris we talking about. Towards the end of the episode, after Drew had gave his speech, Chris and his girlfriend had something to talk about, and he had one more thing to be honest about. He told her he doesn't know her name, and the audience, we don't know her name either. We watched this whole episode, and they did not say her name once. She was shocked. She literally just got done saying as long as they're honest with each other, they could get through anything. And that's where she drew the line at not knowing her name. Just because he met her family doesn't mean he knew her name. To be honest, when he met her family, none of them said her name. At that point, she had enough and she need him in the nuts. I'm surprised nothing has cracked or broken after everything he went through this season. And no surprise, Greg was there and he made it about himself like usual. I gotta say, she shouldn't be too mad. The first time they met, she never told him her name. Then she rushed him to meet her parents, which none of them said her name, and she could have let that slide. But on the other hand, he could have asked Tasha, the person who told her about Chris in the first place. Or he could have been clever and asked her to spell her name for something. It seemed like he was going to have a good relationship, but nah, it probably was for the best that they broke up. Overall, I thought it was a good episode. Chris told the truth, which was better than him lying, even though he lost his girlfriend. Drew and Rochelle both lied, but they wanted to make sure that Julius was happy. And for Julius, he got that win over his brother. Lewis couldn't even take that moment away. But I'm interested to hear y'all thoughts. Comment below. What did you all think about the episode?